Are you ready? Can crush us. It don't really get no better than this the podcast that you're looking for if you're really heavy into wrestling. Hosted by the Mark. Energy that's so amazing. Gotta keep it entertaining. Rep the Can Crusher Nation. Yeah, you know what's going down in the ring. Lights out when you hit a ding ding. Knock them out like boom bada bing. Hold it down, you can crown me the king. Got a shout out to the Miz and Duke the Dumpster. We choke slamming everybody. Power driving, hit them with a face buster. Yeah, this the show you need and it ain't no need for waiting. Mark, hold it down for the Can Crusher Nation. All about wrestling and keep it entertaining. Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. Time to break them, let's go. Yeah, Can Crushers. Yeah, Can Crushers. Let's go.
Hi everyone, this is Ringside Rain and you're listening to Can Crushers Podcast. And now, here is your host, Mark the Mark Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Mark the Mark Martinez, as Ringside Rain brings us in once again. I hope everyone's having a wonderful week, because if you listened last week, you heard Be You, and I've lived that week immensely. I really have, and it's been awesome. It really has. You heard about it Saturday. Me and Sir Michael Jenks talked about it on the weekly wrap-up show. But just living that way, be you. And then just, YOLO, as I put it when we were talking to Ruby Devlin last week. Just live your life. Just do your thing. And that's what we're going to do here on Can Crushers. And I'm super excited to have my guest this week. She's just come back to Pennsylvania from Orlando. She was released at the end of last year from her NXT PC type of deal thing with the WWE, but it doesn't matter. She's coming back. She's kicking ass, taking names up here in Pittsburgh. I'm talking about the one, the only, Gina DeLucia. Yeah, that's who I'm going to be talking to this podcast. Super excited about that. So we're going to dive into that in a hot second. But we have to pay the bills. Collar and elbow. Hats, hoodies, tees, all the cool stuff that Al Snow and the Hooligans have down at Collar and Elbow. Go and buy it up. You'll love it. It's comfortable. Listen, I've had stuff for now 5-6 years that has just literally been through the ringer. It's still amazingly comfortable. It still fits. It's still awesome. When you're checking out, use the promo code Can Crushers. Smash it all together. It's all one word. Capital C and Can, capital C and Crushers, and you'll save yourself 10% off your entire order. That's awesome. Any way that you can save money nowadays is wonderful. Also, if you guys are buying anything from WWEshop.com, we have an affiliate code. Just go in our show notes. Click on that. Whatever you buy, help support the show. We're very, very transparent on here. Sometimes you'll get a discount, sometimes you won't. Okay? No matter what, you always help support the show. So if you want the new Cody Rhodes shirt or whatever, CM Punk shirt or whatever, and you're going to buy it, use that affiliate code to help support Can Crushers. That's awesome. Thank you. Hey, Ask Can Crushers is next weekend, so make sure you get all your questions in for Ask Can Crushers. You can do it on Facebook, X, Instagram, DM us there, or you can send them to the show via the old school email, cancrusher69@gmail.com. And don't forget, you can also call us if you want to be heard on air with your voice. Yeah, that's what we're saying. On air with your voice. 814-299-6687. Again, 814-299-6687. And you will have your voice, your question, read, played, whatever, on air. 3 minutes worth of length. Where can you listen to us? Well, you're clearly listening to us right now on your favorite app. But we're also available on Spotify, iTunes, IMDb, Podchaser, iHeartRadio, yada, yada, yada. The list continues to go on. It really does. We're also available on Podurama. It's an app. Go and check it out. It's available for everybody. It really is. If you want to be seamless, you use the Podurama app. Because right now they're offering, if you sign up for 50 of 50%. If you sign up for a lifetime membership, they'll give you 50% off of that. So that's really cool. Seamless, I'm saying, from phone to computer to any electronics. It keeps all of them bundled. And if you're looking for us on there, yeah, we're right next to Busted Open. We're right next to JR. They're next to us, is what I mean. So go and listen. It's awesome. Guys, all right, I've rambled enough. Here comes Al Snow to tell you more about Collar and Elbow. And when we return, Gina DeLucia joins us to talk PC, wrestling, IWC, Rise, and of course, I'll get something out of her about Chris LaRusso.
Wrestling. A love and a passion we all share. I've started a wrestling brand. The wrestling brand. A brand founded on the aspects of wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product that connect emotionally for people everywhere. Collar and Elbow is the brand. Passion and love for wrestling is the drive. I am Al Snow, and this is Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand.
This is the heir apparent Chris LaRusso, and you're listening to the Can Crushers Podcast.
Welcome back to Can Crushers, folks. You heard how excited I was to have my guest on this week. Coming from Orlando, back to wonderful Pennsylvania, the one, the only, Gina Marie DeLucia. Gina Marie, you should have brought the weather back from Orlando when you came back to Pennsylvania, first and foremost.
I know, but you know what? The snow is beautiful right now, so I'm happy with it.
You can have as much as you want. As much as you want. I'm sorry.
I know. I've missed it. I missed it for sure. The holidays don't feel the same down there.
I've actually heard that. I've never spent them in the warm because I'm a Pennsylvania boy through and through. I've never not had snow or the cold or anything. It just really does hit different.
It does. And then you see palm trees with Christmas lights on it, and it doesn't feel the same.
Okay. All right. Duly noted. How's everything else? How was your trip back and all of that?
Everything's going good. Had a great holiday with my family and starting to get booked a little bit more in the independent scene. So everything's going well.
Yeah, and we'll talk about some of those bookings here in a short bit, but let's don't do the whole rewind that we do. Like, who showed you professional wrestling when you were a little Gina Marie? Mom, Dad, Uncle Jack, Aunt Sally? Like, how did you find wrestling?
My dad, he would watch it every once in a while. So I peeked up the TV screen, and that's kind of how I found out about it. So I would say he's the one that introduced it to me.
Did you have some favorites growing up that you're like, oh yeah, this is definitely it?
I loved The Rock, John Cena, and the Bella Twins. I was a huge fan of them.
I see a lot of Bellas in you, so we'll leave it at that. There's a question coming down the line. So before you ever had your first wrestling match, sort of, right? You attended a WrestleMania, right?
Right.
Because talk about the whole thing that you decided to get into wrestling. And listen, everybody knows now you were released from NXT, PC, however you want to call it. But how's that go about?
You mean like how I got to WrestleMania to watch, or?
Yeah, all of that. Like all of the, like you sign up, and what made you essentially say, I'm going to WWE?
Yeah, so like I said, my dad kind of introduced me to WWE, and whenever I was younger, he would always like joke around with me and say, "You would be perfect to wrestle for the WWE." Like, he's like, "I could 100% see you as a wrestler." And back then, I didn't really think anything of it, but I was an athlete, so I grew up as a gymnast, transitioned into a CrossFit athlete, so I did have that athletic background. And I also, whenever I was younger, I wanted to be an actress. So I figured that, professional wrestling, WWE was a perfect combination of both of them. I was at a point in my life where I was just looking for a new challenge and I wanted to try something new. So I went and applied to be a wrestler for WWE. Fast forward, I got invited to a tryout at WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas. Everything went really well. I got signed at the end of the tryout on day 3, and then we got invited to WrestleMania. And that was my first ever WWE event in person, and obviously my first WrestleMania as well. And it was an unbelievable experience and a moment that I will never forget.
Yeah, we saw pictures of you sitting on the steps and around the ropes and everything like that on WWE TV and then through your social media as well.
Yeah.
That it was just iconic. Can you say that? A moment?
For sure. It was iconic.
Okay. All right, this is where I'm going to slide in. You guys know we started a new kind of little gimmick, essentially, for the spotlight shows, as a past guest is going to ask Miss Gina Marie a question.
Oh, boy. Okay.
The Rebel Ruby Devlin has a question for you. What made you want to be a wrestler?
So you kind of answered that already. What made you? But I think she's going forward looking at it as, what are you doing it for as well? Is it just for, and I'm gonna spin it because, listen, I know Ruby's gonna listen and she'll shoot me a message later on tonight saying, that's not what I meant, Mark. Do you like the fame? Do you like the traveling? Do you like the money? All of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of aspects that drew me into wrestling, but I would say the one thing or the main thing is just to be an inspiration to others. Like, I want to be a good role model to that younger girl that's sitting in the front row and just show them that no matter how big your dreams are, don't be afraid to chase them, because if you have something that is on your mind and you want to achieve, you gotta get up and show up every day and work your hardest and you will achieve it. So I think that inspires me and fuels me every day to continue to train and perform and just hopefully make a good impact on the wrestling space and on the world.
See, it's almost like you guys actually had this practice. And I'm going to throw this out there. You guys do not know each other, right?
No, we do not.
But that is the exact answer that I wanted, and I'm sure that Ruby was hoping for as well for this question. So, yeah, that's unbelievable. So,
awesome. Yeah.
Let's talk about a little bit of your training. You know, you signed your contract, you head down to the PC. Day one of training, you know, you watch it on TV. Was there ever that moment in training you're like, whoof, maybe not?
I don't think so. I was very eager to learn every move. Nothing really scared me away. I was just excited for more. And that's whenever I really fell in love with wrestling and just every aspect of it. It was intense, but I loved it.
You had a hell of a background in cheerleading and CrossFit, so the physicality part was always an easy thing for you, I imagine, right?
Yeah, I would say my body is well trained and ready for wrestling. I make sure of that.
Was there something that wasn't? Maybe it was, listen, how was running the ropes for the first time? Because I get fans saying, man, Mark, stop always talking about running the ropes, and it's easy. If you never ran the ropes, they kind of suck, don't they, Gina?
Oh, they suck for sure. Like, at our tryout, I had massive bruises all over my back. Like, you don't realize how hard those ropes are. But I like to say your back almost gets calloused to it because you train it so often that it just becomes stronger, so it doesn't hurt as bad. But those first few times hitting the ropes, they definitely stung.
And how was the psychology process for you to understand kind of how to lay out a match and everything?
Yeah, that's something that I think is always evolving. That was definitely the hardest part for me to pick up on wrestling. You just gotta think about being in the moment more and not over analyzing everything. Yeah, the psychology part was definitely the hardest. But it's still something that I'm working on, and hopefully we'll just continue to improve on.
Well, it's something that, Ric Flair, Randy Orton, John Cena, down to, whoever else, it should be something that you always practice and work on all the time, because you said it at the beginning, it's always changing, it's always evolving. That's wrestling within itself, right?
Definitely depends on your crowd, where you are, the storyline behind it. Everything is so in the moment, and you have to learn to be adaptable to those moments.
So can we talk about some of your trainers a little bit? Like, what did you pick up? And I'd like you to mention them, because that's some of our MO as well, because without you being on the show, or, you didn't make it on this show or WWE without the amazing trainers, except the one you have in Pittsburgh. We'll get to him here in a minute. But can you talk about some of your WWE trainers, just a little bit of what, really stuck out from each one of them?
Yeah, for sure. I was so lucky to be at the NXT Performance Center with all of those amazing coaches. Combined, they have an experience level that is unmatched. And I really just tried to go in there every day with an open mind, open ears, and soak in as much as I can. There are so many different coaches there that bring a different thing to the table. So my coach that I worked with most was probably Norman Smiley, and he taught me a lot of, the basic moves, but also just unique ways to get in and out of things. He's an amazing chain wrestler. I mentioned this before, but Robbie Brookside, he's so emotionally driven in wrestling, where he knows how to bring out the anger or the happiness, the joy out of you. And just, he's awesome with working on facials as well. So there were different things from each coach that I picked up on, and I'll continue to carry with me.
Can you talk a little bit about your match that you had on an event with Ivy? Like, how was that being your first match? Did you have the jitters? Did you have the comfortable ability of it? And how did it change once you went out of that magic curtain?
Yeah, I definitely had the pre-match jitters. I was so lucky that I got to face Ivy Nile. She's an amazing competitor. She made me feel comfortable out there, just with all of her knowledge. But whenever I did walk outside of the curtain, I just had a blast. Like, that first time being in front of a crowd is a moment that I'll never forget. And it was a moment that made me realize that I truly do love this, and I only want more from it.
Nice. And that's what we like to hear. Everybody knows, and last time I'll say this, released the last part of the year of 2023, whatever. It's a new beginning. It's another door opening for you. No regrets of ever signing up for WWE, right?
Oh, for sure. No regrets at all. It is what it is. It sucks that it ended that way, but, I'm grateful for my experience, and I'm going to make the best of my situation. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's only going to make me better.
Yeah, and you're already kicking ass at taking names. Listen, you really are. I've said that before. Seen some stuff of yours. I really like what you do in the ring. So it's a short indie career is what I'm saying for you. We're going to talk it right into premonition, right?
Yeah, and you know what? I needed this. I needed this experience for sure. It's very eye-opening. I'm learning a lot.
Now, you don't have to share any numbers or anything, but do you still text anybody from down there? I know Robbie or Matt or even Norman, hey, shoot me a match, and, I'll look at it and say, hey, Gina, maybe work on your footwork, da-da-da-da-da. Still friends with them?
Yeah, for sure. I built relationships down there that will last me forever. So I'm very grateful for that, and I hope that they'll be in my corner as I progress.
Right, and it's not a goodbye. It's see you later, right?
Exactly. The door is always open.
Right. So let's transition to your indie career a little bit. Why come back to, I gave it away. Why come back to Pittsburgh? Why did Pittsburgh have your calling?
So first of all, Pittsburgh is home. I love Pittsburgh. Been born and raised. My entire family's there. And also wrestling up there is pretty hot. Like, they have a very good reputation of producing some awesome wrestlers. So I knew that it was just where I needed to be. I knew that I had a gym to go home and train at. There's a bunch of promotions around Pittsburgh, and there's a lot of opportunity up there.
There really is. Sidebar from wrestling real quick. Steeler fan, Pitt fan, all of that, right?
Absolutely. I'm going to the playoff game next week, actually.
You're going to the Buffalo game?
Oh yeah, we're diehard Steelers fans over here.
Beep when you go by my house, because it's directly on your way to Orchard Park. So.
Yeah, cool.
So IWC Rise, two that everybody here on Can Crushers knows that we kind of work with and everything. Those are two of the prominents in Pittsburgh, and I'm not knocking the other ones, but listen, they really are. Two of the prominents. Training, though, I've already given it away again because I love this guy and he hates me. But why go training with Chris LaRusso, who is one of the greatest trainers in the world? Listen, I know you've been with Norman and Matt and Robbie and da-da-da-da-da, but Chris should be up there with them.
I completely agree. He is a phenomenal trainer. I've learned so much from him already, and I'm so grateful for all the knowledge that he's shared. Not only just wrestling moves, but also just navigating this entire business, because I am new to the independent scene. I'm still trying to figure out how everything works. So it's been amazing to get his guidance in wrestling and also in the business side.
No bad words on Chris LaRusso, because listen, I want them. Is there anything that Chris does you're like, oh my God, Norman's better?
Man, not yet, but you know what? I'll keep you posted.
All right, keep me posted. Oh, LaRusso, I'm sorry.
He's digging. He's digging.
I am trying to dig. I really am. So let's take a break from wrestling, because we'll get your dates that you're going to be working shows here at the end when you do your social medias and everything. But
okay,
what do you like to do when you nerd out? Like, day off, you're not doing CrossFit, and I know that's never happening for you. I understand that. But if you take a break, what are your relaxed days about?
I struggle with taking breaks. My break is like going to the gym. I love training. But I also have 2 French bulldogs that I am obsessed with. So on my off day, I try to spend time with them, spend time with my family, my boyfriend. I love shopping, so that would also be something that I love to do. But yeah, other than that, I have the mindset that I just constantly want to become better. So if I do have a quote unquote off day, I'm usually spending it researching stuff and just trying to make myself better.
Doing some tape study, so to speak.
Absolutely.
Which rolls right into this question then. Who is Gina Marie? Give me the 3 wrestlers that, listen, wrestling's built on beg, borrow, and stealing, because everybody does a moveset that everybody borrows, this, that, and the other. It's out there, we understand. So if you could give me 3 wrestlers that you beg, borrow, and steal from, who are those 3 wrestlers that make up Gina Marie?
Oh, I'm going to be honest, like I take I just take inspiration from everything. I don't really think there's like 3 specific ones that I try to, mimic. I do get a lot of inspiration from Charlotte Flair. I think she's amazing. Shawn Michaels, he's phenomenal. And I'm also a huge Kurt Angle fan. So I love his realism in the ring. And yeah, those are probably 3 that I just love to watch.
I love those 3, but I'll throw Alexa Bliss in there as well for you. I could see, because you guys both had the cheerleading background and stuff like that, I could see you essentially being an Alexa as well. Not stealing a gimmick or anything, but I think Alexa's somebody that would be awesome to watch as well. All right. 3 stupid questions that we always ask as well. Nothing to do with wrestling. If you weren't an athlete, And I know that I said athlete. What else would you be doing with your life?
If I wasn't an athlete,
Yeah, because you're an athlete. You're a professional wrestler. You do CrossFit. So you're none of that. Would you be a teacher? What would you do?
I'd probably be an actress.
Okay.
Can I say that, or is that too?
You can. Yeah, that's a loophole. It's good. No, shame on me for not saying that. But yeah,
or like an entrepreneur. Like my family owns a few businesses, so I have that in my blood, and I would just, love to own my business, own my own business someday.
Okay, I like it. Both of them are wonderful. Listen, you're a Pittsburgh girl through and through. Let's talk about food in Pittsburgh. Where's the favorite place you like to eat when you're having an off day for food, too? Because, listen, I know you're in amazing shape. You're not a 46-year-old fat garbage man that only eats Permane Brothers when he comes to Pittsburgh. But what's your spot in Pittsburgh?
Minio's.
Yeah.
Minio's pizza is phenomenal. My favorite restaurant in Pittsburgh is actually a chain, but it's Del Frisco Steakhouse. I love that place.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I would say Minio's is. We're big pizza fans in my family, so Minio's takes the win.
Okay, touche. Do you like Permane Brothers though? Please tell me you do.
I'm gonna be honest. I've only had it.
You don't.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I've only had it one time, and it was years ago. I don't know.
Listen, the next Steeler home game, you have to eat there before you go to the Steeler game or a Pitt game or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm going to get a lot of heat from everybody in Pittsburgh right now.
It's all right. Good. We'll take it right back off of you. Any hidden talents that we don't know about that you would love to pronounce today on the show? That you're an amazing singer, you can bend 6 ways, and what do you do? Something's hidden about you.
I wish I could sing. Definitely not that. I can walk on my hands for a very long time.
Well, that's a CrossFit in you. And I'm not knocking you. That's a CrossFit in you. Like how far? Like a mile?
I've done a track, like a loop on a track.
That's crazy though. That's good for you. That's a talent. That is a talent. Revert back to something I forgot to ask. When you do sign up to go to the PC and and you tell the family, what's everybody's thoughts?
They were so excited for me. So at first, I didn't tell anybody that I applied. I was like, I don't think this is. I wasn't even sure if it was going to happen, So I applied, went through a few interview processes. I didn't tell anybody, and then I finally got the call that they invited me to WrestleMania for a tryout. And I was actually going out to dinner with my parents and my boyfriend that night. So we were all at dinner, we ate, and then after I was like, guys, I have to tell you something. And I told them, and they were just so unbelievably happy for me. They couldn't believe it was real. So I have a great support system at home, and they wish me nothing but the best.
Now that you're going on to Indies, is Mom going to be at shows, and is she going to be your merch maker, essentially?
My merch maker?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they haven't missed one yet, and they're going to continue to come with me. Like I said, they're amazing. You will definitely find my family in any crowd.
Oh, I'm sure I'll see them in February at IWC, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Front row.
Front row. Beating people up, letting them know, hey, we're here for Gina Marie.
For sure. I'm trying to get my dad in the ring with me someday.
Oh, yeah. Well, so you can either beat him up or just give him some, comeuppance.
No, he'd be on my team.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
One shot though at Dad, right?
Though.
One shot at Dad wouldn't hurt, would it? And if he's listening to this, he's gonna punch me when he sees me in February.
I'll share it with him. We'll see.
Okay. Toughest question we ask on the show. You've been in the business now, let's ballpark, 2 years, right? A lot changes in professional wrestling. Good, bad, ugly sometimes. But if you could get rid of one thing in professional wrestling, what would you get rid of?
If I could get rid of one thing?
Yeah.
Man, this is a tough question.
It's the hardest one. Yeah, it's the hardest one.
It is, yeah. I mean, I would say my experience so far has been very great. I would just say like negative people or people that don't want you to succeed.
That's perfect.
Like, because there are some people that will say that they want the best for you, but when it comes down to it, they're really not on your team. And I think that's something that you can experience in life in general. So I would definitely say I just wish that people would be supportive of you down to their core.
Through and through. That not only in wrestling, but that's great life advice.
For sure.
It really is. So on the same advice, let's spin it only behind the curtain. Who gave you the best advice thus far in professional wrestling? Was it one of your coaches? Was it Chris so far? Was it maybe another talent? Did Ivy tell you something? I mean, anybody.
Yeah, I've gotten so many great pieces of knowledge from people. I would say, I can't remember who told me this, but I got one piece of advice that was I was trying to figure out who my character was going to be. And I was trying to, make up all these different gimmicks. And somebody just told me that you should just try to be yourself. Like you are entertaining. Like you have a great background. You have a lot going for you. Like just try to be yourself. And after I got released from NXT, that's exactly what I started to do on the indie scene. And it was exactly what I needed. So now I'm just wrestling as myself, and I feel like it's more natural, it's more fun, and I think it was great advice. Just be yourself.
This is the year of positivity, by the way, on Can Crushers, because Ruby last week to the same question was be you. Somebody told her, be you.
No way.
I swear. I'm not going to say go back and listen for the listens or anything like that. But honestly, she honestly said somebody told her, be you. And that resonated in her head the whole time. You essentially said the same thing. So I'm loving that we're all positive this year on wrestling. We're not going to knock people down. We're going to say stuff like that, which is perfect because, listen, it's 2024. Everybody, I'm on my soapbox a minute, Gina. Hold on. Everybody's backstabbed. Everybody's done this. Everybody's done that. Stop already. Wrestlers are here for one reason. Entertain. To make you leave your bubble of whatever's going on in your real life to entertain you. That's what they want to do. So let them be you. Let them be you. And it will be a better world. Stop the negativity.
You got it. You got it.
So, yeah. So you and Ruby, 2 for 2 on being you, essentially. Awesome.
Wow, I got to meet this girl.
You do. And maybe you will in a new era. Yeah. We'll see. We'll have this flip side of the vice. And you kind of said it earlier with the answer that you gave Ruby, but you have, a little child come up to you at Rise, at IWC, or wherever else you're going, and they say, hey, you're my Nikki Bella. You're my Brie Bella. Because you're now somebody's hero, Gina Marie. You realize that, right? You are a little kid's John Cena, essentially. What do you tell them for advice?
I always tell people just to dream big and follow your heart, because there are so many things that you can accomplish out there if you just believe in yourself. And I mean, take it from me. I had no, like, if you would have told me that I would be in the WWE 4 years ago, I would have said you were crazy. But there was just one part of me that wanted to achieve that and wanted to become a professional wrestler. And I just put all my eggs into one basket and I made it happen. So I just hope that if anybody has a dream like that, even if it's not professional wrestling, if it's you want to become a different professional athlete, if you want to work for a specific company, like just put everything you have into it and go after it. And even if you don't succeed at it, you're never going to know unless you try.
Exactly. How much professional wrestling do you watch today? And can you watch it as a fan? You know, can you and Dad sit down and watch Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Impact, or whatever, and enjoy it? Or does your wrestling mind instantly turn on and you're like, oh, I'm breaking this down?
Yeah, it's definitely different now since I have been wrestling. But I still can watch it as a fan. But I watch it probably like 3 to 4 nights a week. I try to watch all like WWE stuff. I'll tune into some AEW events. And then I've been going to a lot of indie shows and trying to watch some of those matches as well, which I've been learning a lot from. So I'm definitely staying in the zone on it and learning a lot.
I told you I'm a gnat. This is something I forgot to ask as well. Was WrestleMania your first wrestling event that you ever went to, or did you go to some indie shows in and around Pittsburgh growing up?
So it was my first WWE show, but my boyfriend actually had an appearance with AEW. So he's a professional MMA fighter, and I got to go to the AEW show that he was in, and that was my first pro wrestling event that I got to see. And that is what actually sparked me and inspired me to go after WWE. So that was in like November of 2021, and I applied like February 2022. So
wow, that fast. That's awesome.
That's what sparked it. Mm-hmm.
Do you give them, listen, you can tell me shut up. You give them big hugs and say, hey, thanks, because you've now catapulted me on my career and my dream?
Of course.
You got to give him some comeuppance, too.
He inspires me for sure.
He does. He sounds like an amazing human being.
He is.
All right, so do you have a goal for 2024? Did you make the list that everybody posts on all social media? Hey, I want to fight Ray Lynn. I want to fight Katie Arquette. I want to fight Holodead. I want to fight Katie Bright. By the way, these are all people that are RWC once in a while. Do you have a list like that, or do you just have like, this is main goal for 2024?
Yeah, I do have goals, but I don't really have any specific names that I want to wrestle. I do plan on wrestling at least 2 times a month on shows, just to, get more experience, get more reps. I want to travel and see different places and wrestle different people. So that's on my to-do list. And then my goals would be to sign with a company in the near future and get back on TV.
Is there, now that you're stationed, essentially is the wording I'm going to say, in Pittsburgh, if Oregon calls, are you going for a weekend?
Oh yeah.
So you're up to travel.
I already have some trips planned for sure.
Okay, there you go. See, So getting back on TV, of course, 2024, we'd love that. But let's go. I don't like going 5 years because so much changes. So let's just go 2 years. Big 2-year picture then for Gina Marie.
2-year picture. I don't want to say any company specific.
No.
I just want to become better every single day. I mean, that's truly my main goal. You never know what can happen in 2 years, but I just know that the only thing that I can control is just becoming better every year and just sticking to my values and just trying to continue to be an inspiration to others.
I absolutely, dad moment. I actually love that answer. You didn't say, I'm going to be a champion, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. It was about your values and getting better. So you essentially know the business, that it's not about championships. It's about you and XYZ in the ring putting on great matches to take that next level. You got it, kid. You really got it, kid. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
Sidebar, though, we're going to go all the way to the end. We're going dream match now. I want to know, out of anybody ever, who would be your dream match? What stipulation? And, of course, where would you like it to be held?
Let's see. Let's start on where. I want to wrestle in Italy.
Okay, I like it.
I would say Rhea Ripley. I think she is incredible, such a powerhouse. And in a steel cage.
Ooh, okay. Why a steel cage?
I don't know. It's very intriguing to me. I've seen one in person, obviously, but I've never been inside of one. And I think it would be a blast.
Okay. Is there a match that you would never do?
I don't think so. No.
You're not. Well, I'll throw this out there. This isn't Gina Marie saying this, so don't show her any hate, promoters, anything. I don't picture you as a deathmatch person. I'll just throw that out there.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I would never do that.
Okay. Sidebar, you brought up Italy, Italian as well. My grandmother always made this dish, and I want to know if you've ever had it.
Okay.
It's spaghetti and tuna fish. Have you had that? Or is it just a my family thing?
That does not sound good to me.
Really? Oh my God, it's spaghetti
No.
with tuna fish inside the sauce. Like you don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I'm not a huge tuna person. I think that's why.
You don't even taste
But
it.
I do love some good Italian food.
Right. As I figured. I mean, look. Yeah. Right?
Yeah, of course.
All right. This is the time for you to shine. Do you have merch on the way? Where are you going to be? Your socials so people can follow you? All of that.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty booked this year. My next match will be January 20th in London, Canada. I will be facing Katie Arquette up there. I have a few matches booked for Rise, ICW. So got a lot of cool stuff coming up. If you guys want to follow my journey, my Instagram is at Gina DeLucia with 2 A's. I'm also on TikTok, Facebook, and if any promoters are interested in booking me, you can email realginamarie@gmail.com.
And she's amazing at getting back quick, by the way. That's the way I reached out to her. It was within hours. Boom. And for professional wrestling, to have somebody within hours to get back to you, that's amazing. Because, listen, once you get into the career of professional wrestling, and you know this a little bit, you don't have time to check your email, this, that, and the other thing. But she was Johnny on the spot. I'd love to do this crappy podcast that you're going to have me on. Sure, I love it. Let's do it. So, yeah.
I'm hungry. I'm hungry to get reps in and, talking as a rep as well. So this was great.
It is. Did I forget anything today? Anything you want to bring up? Anything that you want to, besides your dates, promote? You stand for anything like that?
I think we covered most of it.
Yeah.
I think you're good. You did a great job.
Thank you. That's all. See, that puts a smile on my face right there. So, yeah. All right, guys, make sure you follow her. Make sure in and around the Pittsburgh area, make sure you go to Rise, IWC. Just follow where she's going to go because you're not going to see her on the Indies long. I'm telling you this right now. She's going to get a couple reps in. She's going to have a match with Chris LaRusso, punch him in the face, and then right back on TV. And then, yeah, you'll be watching her on TV every week. Gina, thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Hey, this is Katie Arquette, the queen of the silver screen, and you're listening to Can Crushers Wrestling Podcast, and you know you love me.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about that interview with Gina Marie DeLucia? Listen, she's back home, ready to get some reps in at IWC, Rise, many other places as well, in and out of Pennsylvania, without a doubt, but knocking on that door to get back on TV to show you what she's really made of. All right? So follow her, give her all your support, go out and see her at shows, especially if you're in and around Pittsburgh like we are. But just watch the growth because she's got a lot of it and she's going to run with it real quick. So the indie scene is going to be short for Gina Marie. All right? Guys, this was awesome. Thank you, Gina Marie, once again for coming on the show, talking wrestling with us, trying to get you to say something bad about my homeboy, Chris LaRusso. But listen, he is one of the greatest trainers out there. Guys, go get trained by somebody do it. Live your dream if you want to be a professional wrestler. 2 for 2 on spotlights with essentially saying, be you. That's the way you live your life. Be you. And that's what it's all about. Guys, remember, just because you're trash doesn't mean you can't do great things. It's called a garbage can, not a garbage cannot. Make sure you tell your loved ones you love them, because you never know.